One can sit down with a piece of paper and write down how many sins that they can think of. Maybe not that they have committed themselves, but how many sins are there? And at the top of the list, there's one that should be number one. How the Spirit feels with Timothy toward day 2 of Shoftim, or Judges. And we want to go back to Deuteronomy chapter 16, and we're going to be in 17 today, but I want to begin with the end of chapter 16. Verse 21 says, "Do not plant for yourself any tree as an Asherah near the slaughter place of Yahweh your Elohim that you make for yourself, and do not set up a pillar which Yahweh your Elohim hates." Then he says in chapter 17, verse 1, "Do not slaughter to Yahweh your Elohim a bull or sheep which has any blemish and any evil matter, for that is an abomination to Yahweh your Elohim. When there is found in your midst in any of your cities which Yahweh your Elohim has given you, a man or a woman, who does what is evil in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim and transgressing his covenant, has gone and served other mighty ones and bowed down to them, or to the sun, or to the moon, or any of the hosts of the heavens which I have not commanded, and it has been made known to you, and you have heard and have searched diligently, then see if true the matter is confirmed that such an abomination has been done in Israel, then you shall bring out to your gates that man or woman who has done this evil matter, and you shall stone to death that man or woman with stones. At the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall he that is to die be put to death. He is not to be put to death by the mouth of 1 witness." Yah is letting us know that there are some firm lines, boundary lines here that he intends to cause to be firmly enforced. He says, is the beginning of this, not to plant a tree as an Asherah near the slaughter place of Yah, and not to set up a pillar. What are we talking about here? Well, in ancient paganisms, the worship of the goddess of the moon, the queen of heaven, was a very popular ideology and pagan theology. This female deity was the consort of the male version deity of Baal. So you had this heavenly couple of sorts. The Queen of Heaven was worshipped by erecting phallic symbols, pillars, poles, obelisks, planting particular trees. Jezebel, the evil queen, wife of Ahab, was fully given over to this worship and had 450 prophets, I think, and 400 priests, I believe, if my numbers are right, during the days of Eliyahu HaNavi, Elijah the prophet. And so there were some 850 men that had presented themselves as eunuchs. They had lost a major degree of their own manhood in order to adopt more feminine traits and to worship this Queen of Heaven deity. It is very lewd, it's very sexual in its orientation, it is very promiscuous. Shrines were nothing more than brothels. And why are you going into all of this? Well, Yah hates it. And what he says is, don't bring it into my house. Don't bring it into my front yard of my house. It's unthinkable. Why would anyone think of doing this? Well, the effort is the synchronization. That's a fancy word for mixture, where we intertwine the mechanics of worships of other deities such as they are lying in a lying manner presented. Basically, demons hiding behind stones and pieces of decorated wood. Yah says, I don't want that in my house. He then goes into, don't bring an animal to me which has a blemish. What is the connection here? I believe it's at least in part this. You have the altar of the Most High. It is in the courtyard of his tabernacle, his arena of set-apart presence. And he is saying to us, don't bring an animal that is blemished in any way. Bring me what is perfect. Bring me that which is reflective of holiness and wholeness and completeness and perfection. Because my altar and that which is put upon it reflects your understanding of me. So Yah is asking us in many respects of our lives to give him our best, the best of our time, our efforts, the best of our attention, the best of our giving, the best of our love, etc. He wants our best. He doesn't want our leftovers. Then to bring in some version of some other supposed deity, some lying demonic representation into his house, is then to identify him with such a false deity. That is, that he is in somehow partnership with these. He very plainly has taught us, do not worship me the way the pagans worship their gods, with bloodletting, frenzied dancing, gyrations, promiscuity, indulgences, grotesque manners. So when we dance before him, it needs to be set apart. When we give to him, it needs to be with an attitude of worship, not of, I'm helping the congregation pay the bills. When we sing of him, we must sing of him as to his true nature and not what makes us feel good, per se. That is, Yeshua. He's not our boyfriend, our consort. He's not a lot of things that people sing about him as being. I'll leave it at that. So he says then that those who practice such things, they're out worshiping the planetary bodies, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets. He said they're worthy of death. One might ask the question then, how much sickness and corruption and failure and anxieties and mental anguishes and issues that just never seem to be able to be overcome, that they have a reality for us, or they have a place in our living or among those that we know and love? Because there's never really a cleaning of the house. It's very easy to overlook things, to sweep things under the rug, as the phrase of speech is, to say, well, that doesn't really matter to me. But if it matters to him, it should matter to us. I believe that Yah is calling us in this Torah portion to become circumspect, to be more keenly focused. If indeed we are living in the last ends of days, and it's very easy to imagine so, then we need to intensify our allegiance to him and make sure that we're not mixing together those things that he hates and trying to present it to him as if it's special to him. Deep thinking today. Think deeply, and I'll see you again tomorrow. To then, shalom.